Okay, we are live, you guys. It is May 1st, May Day. So here's the thing about May Day. You need to go and pick some flowers for your mother. Your mother would love it if you picked some flowers and gave it to her and said Happy May Day. Or some cute girl or guy or whatever, okay? Anyway, so let's talk about what's going on. So we have a test coming up next Wednesday. So I will put the test out there for you Wednesday. We'll review on Tuesday, and that would give you Thursday, Friday, and the weekend to get caught up if you're not caught up. If you get the test out on Wednesday, you get Thursday, Friday. You get a nice long weekend, just chill, okay? So let's take a look at the homework. There were some questions about it, so I don't mind going over it. So first of all, these are the answers. Number 1 is concave pentagon, 2 is a convex hexagon, 3 is a concave octagon, 4 is a convex decagon, 5, here's the triangle. The perimeter is 14.3, and you find this length by Pythagoras Theorem. Area is 6. Here's the perimeter, and then to get Pythagoras Theorem, you just cut this and make it into a right triangle. So hopefully you guys can see the trick to this one is there is a right triangle. And you can do a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and you get the length of that one. And then if you need the base and the height, that would be the height of the triangle, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 2 times 5 divided by 2. On number 7 is pretty easy because it's rectangle, so area and perimeter is easy. Number 8 is pretty easy because it's a square, so perimeter and area is pretty easy. Actually, it's a rectangle. How can the area be 3? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. Okay, got it. Now, the perimeter. So these are a little tricky, so you absolutely need the Pythagoras Theorem to do this, and I will help you out a little bit. But if you're looking for the perimeter ABD, then you need this length here, and I would just use Pythagoras Theorem on that. I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squared plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squared equals c squared. I'd have a 25 plus a 36 equals c squared. So I'll take the square root. Let's see, that's a 61. So I'll take the square root of 61. And this is kind of how you do it. So on my calculator, I'm just going to go square root of 61. Again, answer is 7.8. So this length is 7.8. Again, on this one, if I take a look at this right triangle, I have a right triangle. Technically, I can go ahead and look at a right triangle. I need a right triangle, so I can look at a right triangle right here. See my right triangle. And so 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go 3 squared plus a 1, 2, 3, 4 squared equals c squared. Okay. So then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. I get 9 plus 16 equals c squared. 25 equals c squared. Well, that's easy. That's 5. So this is 5. And I think this is the exact same triangle. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so that's also got to be 5. And so from here, you can pretty much get the rest of it by adding them up, okay? So that's kind of how I worked it with Pythagoras Theorem. So here's my answers for the rest of the homework, okay? And again, area of a triangle. This one's a little bit different because base is here, height is here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Times 1, 2, 3, 4 divided by 2, and that will give you that area. Okay? All right. Now, let's talk about protractors. So, one of the things that makes kids crazy about protractors is this. Okay? And I like the circular protractors. I don't know if you guys can see this, but sure you can. But I like the circular protractors. I know there's 360 degrees in one angle. Okay. Now, if we were in class, we would do this. Kind of a bummer we don't have a protractor in class, but I always zero out my protractor first. Zero out means put the center of the protractor at the vertex of the angle, and I zero it out here. Now, if I read up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, I read my protractor up. Okay. Now, there's 2 sets of numbers, so you got to be careful. Here's what we know. So, acute angles. Those are going to be less than 90 degrees. There are right angles. Hopefully you know right angles 90. Right angles are going to equal 90 degrees. And then there's obtuse angles, which are going to be more than 100. I'm sorry, more than 90 degrees. Okay, so if I look at this, AOB. All right, AOB. There's two numbers, but let's take what I got. Okay, let me do this again. I'm going to take my highlighter. I want you to see what I have, okay? Oh, where'd my highlighter go? Well, maybe I don't have my highlighter. It's okay. I will just use a colored pencil, okay? So AOB is this angle. AOB is this angle. Okay, now that's less than 90. So you got two numbers, right? So you got to be smart about this. I see either 145 degrees or 35 degrees. But there's no way this can be more than, it's got to be small. It's got to be the 35 degrees, okay? Do you see the difference? Now, let's look at maybe this one. I've got, where's my AO, no, I want AOE. This is what I want. Let's do BOE. Well, we could do that one, but I'm looking for one that's definitely obtuse. Well, oh, here it is. AOE. Yeah, let's look at this one. AOE, okay? Let me put this one in a different color. AOE. So if I take a look at AOE, boy, that's a pretty big angle, isn't it? So again, I see two numbers. I see either 35 degrees or I see 145 degrees. So if I count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way around 90, 100, it's 145 degrees. Hopefully you guys see that. 145 degrees, okay? All right. Let's move on. So, I've talked about acute angles, less than 90. I've talked about right angles, 90 degrees, and obtuse angles at 90 degrees. And they call this a straight angle. A straight angle is basically 180 degrees, okay? All right, so far, so good. This should be a pretty easy lesson. So, I also have some notes that I made. Let's look at my notes, okay? So the first thing I have, I'm just going to use my protractor, and you guys don't have a protractor, or you might have one at home, but watch. So if I want to draw angle ABC with a 48 degree angle, B is right in the middle. So B is my vertex, okay? It's the middle letter. So I'm just going to put a point called B. Now, I need to make an angle, right? So I'm just going to draw a line so that I can put the protractor on it. So I'm just going to draw a line like this. If we were in class, I'd have you do this. And that's part of my angle. We call that the terminal side and the coterminal side, but don't worry about all that stuff, okay? Now, I need 48 degrees, so I zero out my protractor. So I put the little center of the protractor right on B. See, I got that? And I've got 0 degrees. It says 180, but I want 0 degrees, right? And then I'm going to count up 10, 20, 30, 40, 48, right about there. I'm going to put a little dot. So there's my spread of a 48 degree angle. I use my ruler. I draw in the coterminal side of the angle, okay? Like right about like that, okay? Boom. Got it. Now, I'm going to label this 48 degrees because it is. And now it's ABC, so I can put A here, B here, and C here, or, doesn't really matter, I can put A here, B here, and C here. Okay, same angle. That's it. Now, next one, draw a triangle, or I'm sorry, angle XYZ, which is 150 degrees. Okay, again, here's my middle letter. That's my vertex. So I'm going to start out by putting a point Y right here. I'm going to draw my terminal side. So just draw a line because I need to use my protractor, okay? If we were in class, I'd have you guys doing this, but bummer, we're not. Wish we were. So I need 150 degrees, so I'm going to zero out my protractor. Zero it out, and zero, so I got right on Y, my center of my singles on Y, my vertex, I got 0. Now I want to go to 150 degrees. Now that is more than 90. So I count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. So 150 is here. Now I know I see 30 with it, but I know that I counted up 150 degrees. So I make my mark. I want to draw my angle in. Okay. And this is definitely an obtuse angle. It's more than 90. Okay. This is y. Now I could make x, y, z, or I could go x, y, z. It does not matter. And I'm going to label 150 degrees. Okay. So anyway, if you haven't learned how to use a protractor, you should have in middle school. If you haven't, then there it is. Okay. Now let's do some algebra, because this is an algebra class. So turn the paper, and I have 3 examples on algebra. Okay. Now, look at example 1. What I see is a straight angle. Okay. Straight angle, 180 degrees. All right, that makes sense. So angle ABX plus angle XBC, these 2 angles add up to 180. So I'm just going to go, okay, 220x plus 8 plus 14x plus 70 equals 180 degrees. Okay. And now I'm going to solve for x, and then I'll plug it back in and get my angles. So I'll get a 34x, because I went 20x plus 14x, plus 78. 8 plus 7 equals 180. Okay, we're going to solve. So I'm going to go minus 78, and just do that on my calculator. I could probably do my hand at 102, but anyway, 180 minus 78. Turn it on. I already know the answer. I don't want that. Don't want that. Stop. Yes. Sorry about that. Calculus going crazy. 180 subtract 78. Yeah, 102. I kind of thought so. 34x equals 102. Divide by 34, right? Divide by 34. And x is 3. Okay, now let's plug in 3 to find out what the angles are. So x is 3. Let's plug 3 right there. I'll plug 3 right there, okay? So what I'll do is I'll go 20 times 3 plus 8. Well, let's see, that should be a 68, right? 20 plus 3 is 60, so I get 68 degrees here. Now there's 2 ways you can do it. You can subtract 68 from 180. That's probably the easiest way to get this angle, or you can plug it in. I like just subtract it from 180. Let's just be smart about this. 180 minus 68, and I get an answer of 112. Okay, easy. So we've got example 3. Okay, in example 3, I notice one thing that's kind of important. This box right here. Okay, this box means 90 degrees, or it's a right angle. So I know that this angle plus this angle have to add up to 90. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take my 15x minus my 43 plus 8x plus 18. I'm going to set it equal to 90. All right, well, 15x plus 8x is a 23x. Let's see, what's negative 43 plus 18? Let's let the calculator work. Negative 25 equals 90. Okay, I'm going to solve. I'm going to go plus 25 plus 25. And I get 115. At 23x equals 115. Divide by 23. And divide that by 23, and I get an answer of 5. Goes in even after all. So if x is 5, let's plug it back in. Let's put 5 right there, and 5 right there. Okay. So I will go 8 times 5 plus 18. Let's see, that's 40. Plus 18 is 58 degrees. Now, I could plug it back in here, but I still think maybe it's just easier to subtract it from 58, because the 2 angles add up to 90. So 90 minus 58, 32 degrees. Okay, what do you think? Pretty easy? Okay, last example. So BD bisects, it cuts it in half. Bisects, cuts it in half. So that means that angle ABD is equal to angle DBC. So let's set them equal. Let's take our 8x plus 35 and set it equal to 11x plus 23. I'm going to solve. Okay. I will go minus 8x, 35 equals a 3x plus 23, right? I will go minus 23, and I'll get a 12 equals 3x. Divide by 3, x is 4. Okay, so if x is 4, let's plug it in. Doesn't really matter which one because they're equal, so maybe I'll plug it into this one. Okay, plug it in, x equals 4 right up there. So I'll rewrite this as 8 times 4 plus 35. 8 times 4 is 32 plus 35, and I get a 67 degrees. And then also 67 degrees because we know they're equal because it was a bisector. Okay, that's what I have. Homework is page 240, 1 through 9. Let's take a look at that real quickly. 240 should be pretty easy. 1 through 9. Okay, so first of all, they want you to name the different types of angles, whether it's acute, obtuse, and then here find the angles. That looks pretty easy. And then find the measure of x and find the angles. Okay, so that's what I have is page 240, page 240, 1 through 9 all. Okay, I will talk to you tomorrow.